So would you say that you're creating the perfect you from inside out, helping yourself be grounded by increasing your strength over 90%, which controls brain function and allows you to transfer between your male and female simultaneously with ease, with not having the stress of losing control or your identity, as some women or men sense in conversations or solutions with other people? And also, the process, would you say, is so natural that it's like you've been there before?
Totally. It is so natural to the body with this formula, with this conscious bodybuilding formula, that it is very natural to the body. It's not like, oh my God, I have to go to the gym and I have to, suffer, and it's hard to explain. Let's say one day you wake up, you keep going, it's a journey. One day you wake up and you're a different person. And you look back and you go, but I didn't experience any torture. Nobody was breathing down my neck telling me 1, 2, 3, push, more, very natural. As a matter of fact, what I like to add right now is it's been 3 years and my injuries are absolutely completely gone. No more chronic backache, no more frozen shoulders, no more Achilles. So on top of all the spiritual connections that I've been able to make through this process, the injuries are gone. I wake up in the morning with an entirely new body. Sometimes I don't even realize that it's me, So it is a transition. And to add something about the anti-aging properties of this, is that 3 years ago, okay, I'm 51 now, okay? So 3 years ago, when I started this process, I was 48 years old, and I was really getting into these premenopausal problems, with the hot flashes and all the stuff that was happening. And I was feeling, not only because of the injuries, I wasn't feeling good, but also because of that. And I got to tell you, after 3 years, all this is gone. So I know that eventually I might have menopause like everybody else, right? But in the meantime, it's been 3 years and all that is gone. So how much more anti-aging proof anybody wants? I feel actually 15 years younger than I was 3 years ago, and even getting younger as we go along. It's like I'm not getting older right now. I'm getting younger. So it's very, very exciting.
Batista, this is sensational. And a question that would come to my mind is, and I wanted to go over each aspect of it, is what is your interaction with people when you talk to them about bodybuilding? Because it seems to me in my world that bodybuilding, strength training, things of that nature are still looked upon as people did 20 years ago. Even scientifically, that is a fact that strength training is the #1 preventive medicine in the world today. And that people that have serious illnesses or diseases or disabilities, if it wasn't for bodybuilding, in a sense, strength training, they would die. So the first word we would talk about, that if you'd be kind enough to enlighten us, what's the misconception when you talk with people?
Okay, so when I talk to people about this, I notice that there is a serious lack of education. Most people, and I was guilty of that myself 3 years ago, most people see big bulky muscles and people on steroids, and people most people, I don't want to put everybody in the same boat, but a big majority of the people that I speak to have a misconception about what bodybuilding or strength training is. And this is kind of why I feel so interested and devoted to help educate people about this, because I see the benefits for myself. A lot of people go into an emotional reaction or intellectual reaction. What I might hear is, oh, well, I already do yoga, or I do the treadmill, I do Pilates. Guys might say, oh, I used to strength train, when I was younger, but now I do yoga, or ride my bike. So there is not, I don't hear a lot of people asking clarifying questions about, oh, really? So you have an experience about this for 3 years, so maybe you could give me a little more information about this. People kind of shut the door, and I attribute that to actually, if I may say, lack of connections with their own bodies, okay? Because I have to tell you from my experience, now that I'm more connected with my body, I am also more willing to be open. The stronger I get, the less I have to prove it. It's kind of fascinating. People say, oh, you're strong. But I kind of like, yeah, so there's a total misconception about it, emotional reactions. There are 3 principles to be successful in life about whatever one wants to do, and that might be mindset, having the mindset to want to learn, to want to grow, to know that we are an ever-evolving civilization, and that when we stop learning, then we stop growing. We stop, if it doesn't get better, it gets worse. Things don't get things are never stagnant. Okay, they go up or they go down. Okay, so if a person shuts the door to being educated and learning more, then obviously they have lost the good mindset to evolve, and they are not contributing to the ever-evolving society that we hope to see coming. And then the environment. Not every environment is conducive to the same results, right? And the education is everything. What do they say? Ignorance is bliss? No. You could be forever ignorant, but then, then what, right? Again, if you don't go up, you go down. What is that saying that says about contempt prior to investigation? And that is for sure, a sure sign of a person stopping the growth process. Also, what I notice, and that's especially women, as you know, when women get older, we actually become more intellectual.
When you're talking to a person, they say, oh, I do yoga, and they completely shut down any avenue to ask a clarifying question or to be enlightened as to what possibilities or your experience is in the conscious bodybuilding. They're under the misconception that yoga will regenerate their youth or rebuild their muscular structure, and they don't realize it's called the dysmorphia, that they've lost 75% of their muscular structure and their body. If they took a picture of it, they would be horrified how out of balance their posture is, even though they say they've been practicing yoga for 20 years. Could you please talk about that and why we want the audience to know that your answer is not your own personal opinion, but is based on solid research? We create the right notes that can process your body into building growth hormones that will be what you call anti-aging. Not all routines, even though if they were based on strength, it will have the same effect. So I'm going to pass the audience on to you. So could you please talk about this aspect in the research that you've done, yoga versus conscious bodybuilding?
Okay, so that's a very good question, actually, because as I was as I started becoming engaged in the conscious bodybuilding, I already knew that there was a difference because I could feel it. I have practiced yoga on and off throughout my life because as a dancer, you know, I did a lot of things. And I knew right away that something was different, but when people would confront me or ask me, I couldn't really explain it. And so I started to research, you know, to get some answers. And actually the answers are really clear, and, you know, sometimes the answers are closer than we think. We look far away for answers that are right in front of our nose. Okay, so basically it's very simple. We have different muscle fibers, different muscle types in our body. We have a slow twitch muscle fiber and a fast twitch muscle fiber, okay? And the muscles work different contractions. There is eccentric contraction, concentric contraction, and isometric contraction, all right? So yoga is based more on isometric contraction, which builds the slow twitch muscles, okay? But in order to build maximum strength and to develop a muscle, one needs to work the concentric and eccentric muscle contraction, all right? And that is what strength training addresses. Well, actually, strength training addresses all three muscle contractions, especially in the conscious body building because of the way it's set up, all right? So in order to develop maximum muscle mass and also to produce, like for the man loses 2% of testosterone per year as of age 30. So by the time he gets in his older age, he is way down on his testosterone. So in order to develop more testosterone, you have to put more strength on the muscles. And if you want maximum results, then strength training would be number one. And obviously, conscious bodybuilding would be number two because it addresses all three contractions. In terms of yoga, the same thing. You cannot develop a muscle in the same way with yoga as you can with strength training because yoga does not address concentric and eccentric contraction to the same degree as strength training does. All right. Now, I'd like to make a little note on that about some medical facts about osteoporosis, for example, because according to the National Council of Strength and Fitness, a woman loses 8% of bone mass per decade. All right, it's huge. In order to reverse that, you need to put stress on the bone. You need to put stress on the muscle, okay? And the best way and the most efficient way to do that is through strength training because of the fact that what I've just explained. Through strength training, you put your muscles through maximum force, okay? And that will give you maximum results. So also, when you talked about posture, Stephen, you said that people are losing their posture. And I noticed that in myself as well as I came into the program because, you know, I'm a dancer, so I was always very aware of my posture because I was in ballet boot camp. And when you look around, a lot of people are, as they grow older, and very sadly so, also in their young age, are walking around with rounded shoulders, slouching. But as we grow older, this becomes more pronounced. And one of the reasons why this becomes more pronounced is because we lose the muscle mass in our back. We don't have the muscles to hold our posture up, okay? And I was noticing this in myself as well. And even as a dancer, because as a dancer I had strong legs always, but my upper body wasn't developed in that way, okay? So if you want to rebuild or build the muscles that will hold the posture up, that will strengthen your back, then yoga can really not do that because it doesn't address the same muscles that one needs to have those, to support that the postural, the shoulders back. So, in other words, there are very many benefits of yoga. I'm not knocking it. I'm not saying, it by any means, do yoga, you'll be better off than doing nothing. But you have to know that there are some things that yoga cannot do and cannot address. And if you do add strength training or conscious bodybuilding to your regimen, then your yoga practice will improve. Okay? As a matter of fact, everything will improve. Every performance, everything that you want to do, you'll become a more complete human being.
That's kind of interesting because, as you know, we're born as a baby into the world weak, and we get stronger. And when we get weak, we die. So reaching out to people, and most especially women of importance, the urgency to address the issue, and your mission, or I wouldn't say mission, but you're asking for support from other women to open doors for you as a professional speaker or to lecture. You would like to reach a goal of 2 million people by January 2012.
Yes. Okay. So as I was saying earlier, this is a journey, not a destination. But the more I'm involved with this process, the more I realize how important it is. There's obesity, there's diseases. I mean, there's so many issues that I see that could be actually very easily resolved, and people could be just happier, healthier through this simple practice, which is just really actually very pleasurable. So as far as I'm going for the future, my future goals is to continue to educate people of the urgency to begin to strength train. And I do write a blog about it, so you can read the blog at blog.bodydesignformula.com. And so I would love for people to be open and receptive to listen and to research for themselves, as I did. Because we are an evolving society, and I hope that we all as a whole unite to strengthen our bodies, mind and spirit. And in my opinion and in my experience, conscious bodybuilding is definitely a path that will get you there, these energies that are stuck in the body.
Wow, Batista, this is very, very, very knowledgeable information, and I hope our listeners will go to the website consciousbodybuilding.com and to sign up on the newsletters. And when you receive the newsletters, every day to pick a different section of that newsletter and read it, and you will be educated also, and you'll learn of the possibilities in store to take a journey through your body that you have yet experienced. So we wanted to go over a couple of things here, which is the blog. It's blog, B-L-O-G, bodydesignformula.com. The website is consciousbodybuilding.com. There is a phone number, 424-245-6560. If you write us an email, which is on the website, you can ask some questions, and providing there's a return phone number, we will call you back, and I, Stephen Hershey, Dr. Fitness USA, will address your concerns or give you some advice, some possibilities of how you can create a solution in your life. Also, if we address women out there, you can be sure that if your other half, male or female, is not training to the music of Mozart in their strength training program, they will not be getting the best possible deal in their relationship. because the female energy sets the standards. She leaves her intellectual mind, travels back into her body, and she needs to be strong in order to say no and not give out too much without receiving first. So Batista, you know, people always want to know, what's the proof that you're 15 years younger? Well, you can say the photographs are definite proof, but let's enlighten the audience and go back 3 years where you have these sensational flamingo costumes. So can you enlighten us what it was like to 3 years later look at these skinny little costumes and dread the thought of ever wearing them again?
Well, you know, it was pretty frightening because I did take a break in my dancing, and I do have a full wardrobe of beautiful costumes, and it was pretty frightening because my body has changed. I thought, my God, you know, I'm actually, well, I feel bigger. And you know what? I am bigger from the inside out, but my costumes fit like they were actually made for this body. In other words, they are so beautiful that I am actually maybe thinking about relaunching my dance career. It was pretty interesting to actually witness that, as that my body has changed so much. My proportions are completely different, but however, the costumes fit like a charm. So I actually have the body now that I was meant to have all along, and Conscious Bodybuilding is giving me that, which is pretty exciting.
Would you say it's the best part of your day when you can leave the hectic world and go into an environment and be totally in control of who you are and be educated enough to be able to meditate through the exercises on a path to inner peace?
I love going to the gym. It's definitely the best part of the day. I can be dead tired and go one exercise and feel totally revitalized. It grounds me. It puts my emotions in check, in balance. I feel like $1,000,000.
You've been a wonderful guest. Actually, one of the most enlightening guests that we've had. And the audience, if you've been able to hang in there, you've been delightful too. And this has been so incredible, this information, that I think that we would say that this would be only part one. And if we get some responses, that we'd like to invite Batista back too. And she would be talking about probably how it affects your relationships, like your mate that you tie up with in life, and how you can experience a greater deal than where you're standing now. This is Stephen Hersey for ConsciousBodybuilding.com. And if your mind can conceive it and your heart can believe it, then you can achieve it. Have a great day, and tune in again for our next show.
You're listening to I Am Healthy Radio, broadcasting from Los Angeles to the world and back.